ended up exercising 45 minutes less. And of course, there's reasons for that when you're complaining, your cortisol levels are up and you're not sleeping as well, you're not eating as well. So all those things happen. But there was a third group that experienced improved well-being, improved sleep, higher levels of gratitude, 1.5 times more exercise than the hassles or the catching group, had fewer headaches and fewer stomach problems. And unmute yourself and give me some ideas on what you think they did. Anybody?
That's too.
I know.
Does anybody have any ideas what you think that this third group was asked to do?
Was it a gratitude journal? Was it?
Yes, actually, it wasn't a journal. They were just asked to write down 5 things of gratitude per day.
Wow.
And the results were remarkable. And of course, they were replicated over and over again in different groups and in different places. But yeah, it was just the simple act of noticing what they were grateful for. And, just to regress a little bit, gratitude is kind of a complicated thing, but it's not just like, oh, I got something. It's that somebody else's efforts or through some other way other than your own that you've received something. And, Judaism has known this for, time immemorial. And, I was thinking back when we started doing this, and of course, Rabbi chime in, but, the morning blessings, there's so many things to notice and be grateful for. And it's not just that, somebody gave it to us, it's a gift from God. And to be in that state, it was something that Judaism recognized so long ago, Dayenu, blessings, noticing the gratitude of our gifts of life, and even that we had a life and, death. So, now there's science that actually pulls it apart and explains why. But the act of being grateful has amazing benefits. These people rated their life as a whole much higher. They had much higher expectations for the coming week for just writing down 5 things a day. They had improved mood. They have improved energy. They had improved attention. They had improved enthusiasm. It's incredible. They had fewer symptoms of headaches and stomach issues and acne. Imagine. They ate healthier food. They spent more time exercising. They had 23% less cortisol, causing less anxiety and less body fat. So the research, there's also some research coming out of China that talks about gratitude and how it improves your sleep. And because of that, it actually improved anxiety and depression. The gratitude in and of itself improved depression, but it didn't improve anxiety without actually improving sleep. So they did studies with people who had trouble sleeping. And so just gratitude alone wasn't enough to give them an uptick in their or lower their anxiety. But like gratitude obviously is the opposite of griping, and it increases your resilience. And they call it like the psychological booster shot for your immune.
Mindy's not on.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. And so it enables us to take action and recover from trauma and everyday trials and tribulations. And so, it dawned on me, there's some of us are stuck in our homes, and, we can't go out and do some of the other things to connect with people. But Zoom is a wonderful platform for still going face-to-face, getting your neural mirroring in, or even telephone calls or writing letters. And there was a study that Dr. Seligman speaks of whenever I hear him talk about positive psychology. The one thing that he tells people is, if they want to feel better, and this little strategy or intervention has been shown not just to last for a few minutes, but for a month. It's like medicine. And that intervention would be to sit down and to think about someone that you are grateful for and someone that has given you a benefit over your life that perhaps you never thanked. And I was in the intervention usually has people write down their letters, and because of Shabbat, we're not going to do that right now. But I would invite you to think about it now, and let's maybe we'll close our eyes and visualize that. And then after Shabbat, I would hope that you take a few minutes and write a gratitude letter to someone. And the thing with this gratitude letter, it's not just writing it to them. The whole process involved going to the person and actually reading it to them in person to person. And I don't know about you, but that idea is like very uncomfortable to me, to be that vulnerable. And there's research on that too. There's a PhD in University of Chicago who's a business in the Booth, I think, business school, and his expertise is in mind reading, and he talks about how it's very difficult to bridge the gap between two minds. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be embarrassed. They're not even going to remember me. What happens if I don't write the letter properly? Maybe don't have the right way to express. And that, when other people were asked, how do you think you'll feel if you get a letter of gratitude? And they underestimated how great they would feel. So we are really, humans are not that great at anticipating how we're going to feel. The people that were writing the letter ended up feeling that it was way better and way easier than they thought. And the people that received the letters found that it was so wonderful. And, they talk about, the doctor said all his friends who were professors in colleges have their own specific gratitude letters in their drawers, right in their desk that they keep. Does anybody has anybody had that experience where somebody, has written them a letter or has told them something like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And the way I came across them is I decided in this isolation and quarantine that I would go through a box of all the letters I've gotten since fourth grade. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of letters. And, a lot of them were just my girlfriends from high school where we wrote in college and college friends, but also like fourth grade little boy, and lots of thank you notes. And some of them were really nice thank you notes, and I don't even recognize the names, or that I did what they were talking about, But even so, even for the ones I didn't even recognize, it was sort of one of these moments like, oh wow, I did that.
Right?
So
all these years.
It was a long time ago, believe me.
Savoring too, writing a thank you note even after you get, any gift is a way of, of reenacting the good feelings that we got at the time. And, one of the short little interventions that positive psychologists do to bring that point home is I'm going to have you close your eyes. Everybody relax and close your eyes. And I want you to visualize going into your kitchen and visualize the refrigerator and the counters and the cabinets. Visualize the light coming in. Visualize what it smells like. What it feels like to be in your kitchen. Everybody there? And so I want you to go into your refrigerator and take out a lemon that's on the door and a little shelf, and take out that lemon and bring it onto your counter. Go into your cabinet, take out your cutting board, go into your drawer knife, take out your drawer, and put your lemon right on your cutting board. And as you put your lemon on your cutting board, you're feeling the outside of that lemon and how it's got, a little texture to it. It's a little spongy. And you take your knife and you slice through the tough fur skin, and then you get into the middle and it's getting a little juicy, running a little bit on your cutting board. And you start to smell that, that fragrance of the lemon. And you turn your lemon over and the flat side, you cut down and you turn it into, cut it in quarters, and more of that lemon zest and the fragrance is squirting out. You might even get a little on your skin. And then you take that lemon in your hand and you feel how it's a little wet and maybe a little, and you squeeze that lemon into your own open mouth. And you squeeze it in and you taste and you feel what that is doing to your body. And you taste all the beauty of that lemon. And then I invite you now to open your eyes. And did anyone feel anything as you were eating that lemon?
I squinted.
Mm-hmm. You squint? You feel like you're
shudder at the bitterness.
Going, and your body is preparing to digest that lemon, having the sugars to digest the acids, or the doctors here would probably know how that works. But I'm actually like salivating. I get that little twinge, when I eat a lemon. And the idea is that visualizing gratitude is doing to you, or savoring and writing a note is doing to you what it did before. Your memories are actually creating the same functions in your body. They're lighting up your brain in the same places. So, we are in the situation where we're kind of stuck here, but we still have our memories, number one. And luckily, we all, at least here, still have the ability to connect to people and to thank them. So I'm going to ask you again to close your eyes and just think for a few minutes. I'm going to run you through like a quick little what you should put if you can, or what you choose to put, what you can put, what you get the opportunity to write down in a letter. A letter that you could either bring to someone, read to someone over the phone, over Zoom, mail it to them. But the best way would be if there's someone in your household even to show them a little gratitude. It's something that will help both of you more than you could ever believe. The effects are a month long. So, okay, so let's close our eyes and think of a time in your life where there's someone that has given you a gift of like an emotional well-being, a gift that maybe they didn't even know they were giving you, words that they said to you that made you feel really powerful, or enabled you to achieve something that maybe you didn't know you could, somebody that encouraged you. Visualize how you were at the time and how that person's actions or words maybe impacted you over time, over a long period of time, and how that made you feel then and how it has impacted you. Kind of heavy, but if there is anything like that, something that impacted you over time. And then this is an exercise that really only needs to take maybe 10 minutes. But writing it down even has its benefits, because again, we're like remembering it, we're savoring it, and those thoughts are reminding us of something really powerful and good that happens in our lives. And I was wondering if there were anybody that would care to volunteer about, who in their life has given them something to be grateful for. Positive psychology, by the way, is the kind of thing that makes people asks people to be. And because of that, when you do a positive psychology class with people, you tend to, be open and reveal things about yourself and your past that may, that are very revealing personally. So I get why it might be difficult to, put yourself in the spot, but because I don't know anyone, I'm gonna just choose somebody who I happen to know and love. Donna.
I knew that was coming.
So do you guys maybe either want to do a gratitude to each other, or maybe there's somebody in your life in the past who has done something that you've never really expressed to them what it meant to you?
Well, for me, there's no question that Ricky's the one I'm most grateful for, and that the gratitude I feel for Ricky every day for making my life so complete. But the one I hope that he knows that, and that I tell him all the time, but the one that's not as obvious that I was thinking about as you spoke was my mother, as Robin knows, but not everybody else knows. My mother has very advanced dementia and doesn't know what's going on now in the pandemic, and she doesn't know her name or me. And she has an aide that admittedly we hire and pay well, and she's been with us for a little over a year, and she stays with my mom in an assisted living 24/7. She has private aid in assisted living. But as you were talking, I thought how grateful I am for Marie and Marie's predecessor, Alex, who was with us for like 4 years before that. But especially now in the pandemic, when I can't see my mom because she's in assisted living, I have complete gratitude for Marie, who's there with her every single day and allows me not to worry. And I was thinking as you spoke, that's really, I thank her all the time and I tell her I love her, but it's not nearly enough.
I know. And I mean, I encourage you to do it. And I'd love for us to come back at some point and see how that, made her feel and how that made you feel. Well, one of the things that I do, like now, I'm doing a resilience training, and part of it is 30 days of training on different aspects of resilience. And so the idea is like a countdown. You do one more thing every day. So I decided I'm going to write one more thing in my journal every day. And it was pretty good, 1, 2 things a day, 3 things a day. So now I'm up to like 20 things a day. And it was getting a lot of pressure. Like, oh my God, I'm thankful for the trees. I'm thankful for, and then I realized like, I'd rather write maybe for 20 minutes instead of 20 things, and really like dig down into like how it is that I am so lucky to look out my window and have something green and that I find beautiful growing outside, and to like, really I think to describe what she does, it not only will make her feel great, but that's where it started really impacting me. Like, whoa, that's so profound that there is this thing growing outside my house that's providing me shelter and, shelter from the sun. Or the more specific you can get, the better results it'll be. That's my point, is to you and to her. And I really look forward to hearing how that goes with her. But thank you very much for volunteering.
Thank you.
Does anybody want to just maybe raise their hand and see? Or is anybody going to try it? Yay! We got some people who are going to try it. If you don't want to try it, have your kids try it. It's always good to say you have an assignment. And this way, it's not coming from mom or dad, but I really found that's a very simple way. And the idea of gratitude has been called, there's research that's done about that. And there's a researcher, Sarah Algo, out of the University of North Carolina, and she finds that gratitude is the interpersonal emotion. And she calls it the find, remind, and bind emotion. so that you can completely shift people's mindsets about their personal relationship, because you find you notice more qualities, positive qualities about a person. And that's because we not only have a negativity bias, but we also have a confirmation bias. So once you get in your head that somebody is, has given you something that is wonderful, the more you really visualize it, the more you start thinking it. And that has such amazing building qualities. Something that you can do in your house while you're stuck here with COVID. Hopefully not with COVID, but waiting for COVID to be beyond us. So it has find, you notice more qualities because of that confirmation bias. It's remind, because you start remembering your happy memories. And like that lemon, you're actually reliving them with your hormones and your neurons, reliving those situations. So it's find, remind, and then bind. It drives us to spend more time with people. The weird thing that happened to me during this COVID thing, my husband's an anesthesiologist with intubating COVID patients. We're quarantined, but in separate places, and we ended up spending much less time together. And I realized how, had that negative impact that has. We're now together again, thank goodness. But showing gratitude will make you want to spend more time together with each other, and it will make you remember all those happy memories. Maybe showing gratitude about some vacations that you have gone on, and kind of stroll down memory lane. One of the positive psychologists, I think it's Ed Diener, talks about his best tip for making people happy is that you have your memories, you have your positive memories that you could recall, and those will bring you back to that place. And he takes his classes through a very in-depth explanation of some situation that he found really rewarding. And as I sat and listened to it, I felt like I was there, and I could see his whole body language change, because at least we can visualize in this time. Let's see what else. And the other thing is, once you start being in a state of gratitude, your neurons, they say when neurons fire together, they wire together. It starts becoming easier and easier to find the things to be grateful for. I get that it may be tough right at the beginning and nothing seems to come to mind, or it feels trivial, but it's a practice like everything else. And this is just like one tool that happens to work if you feel like there is someone in your life who you haven't thanked. I would really encourage you to do that. Could be a furry, four-legged person, animal, or something that isn't necessarily a person from long ago. One of the other things is, if the person's not alive any longer, you may want to contact their children, because that would be like something really nice to know that their parent had done something nice, that impacted your life. And then what do you think? I'll take a little poll here. Raise your hand. What predicts healthy aging better? Good marriage or good cholesterol?
Marriage. Good marriage.
That's it. It's about relationships. You guys are good at this. And one of the reasons is that oxytocin is going through your body, and that has a lot of, Ricky, you probably could speak to it better, but has a lot of wellness qualities, right? Do you?
I haven't checked my oxytocin level lately, but I do.
Okay, you get it. So, Rabbi, do you have anything to add about the whole gratitude?
Well, you're bringing up such a wonderful concept, and it's so. I often tell people, when I am talking about prayer, I tell them that all Jewish prayer is divided into two categories: thank you and please.
Thank you and what?
Thank you and please.
Oh, please.
So Part of it is, and we always begin with thank you. We don't get to please until halfway through the prayer. The first part of prayer is thank you, God, for the fact that I walk, and thank you for the sun in the sky, and thank you for taking care of this, and thank you for doing. So the whole first half of prayer is all about thank you.
Right.
And after you develop this sense of thank you, you then get to the point, and this is in the Shemona Esrei, that's where you start asking God for things. I want a decent living, and I'd like my relationships to be strong, and I'd like this Shabbos to be a good Shabbos. That's like well halfway into the prayer. The first part of it, though, is developing a sense of gratitude before you start asking, petitioning. The first thing you do is you think about the things you're really thankful for.
Yeah.
That is ideally how the ancient sages wanted you to start prayer. I often tell people who are beginning Judaism that they should read the prayers in Hebrew. And the prayers in English. They should tell me in their own words what they think all those prayers are asking them to be grateful for. It's not always easy. This is the language, it's 3,000-year-old language. But if you look at each prayer and you say, how does this apply to how I'm living today? You will find that the whole first half prayer is about ways of being grateful for something.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, we've had 3,000 years, various generations to be thankful for a myriad of things, and so our prayer book is very long. So it could get a little repetitive, and it could get a little burdensome, but there are different things to be thankful. You look in the prayers, it will say, be thankful for something. You'll find something that resonates with you. But I think that your idea of doing a separate exercise, writing that letter or writing down those 5 things, the 5 things every day, the letter, thinking of someone, you're great. I think that is, that's a really, those are really good ideas.
The other thing that's even simpler, if you don't really, want to write your letter, or you don't have the opportunity to actually tell someone, just sharing a good thing with someone, that spreads the positivity. Not necessarily a grateful thing, but we would start every positive psychology class off with what's good, and it was kind of uncomfortable, to be honest with you, at the beginning, because we're trained, and maybe it's our negativity bias, we're bragging, we don't feel humble, but to say what's good in your life, and it's really freeing. Does anybody want to say what's good in their, what's good today?
I want to share something.
Hey.
My name is Mars, and we don't know each other, but I'll share something that positive thinking has changed my life, which and has truly changed my life, that I think it would be interesting for all of you to know. Last year, at this time of the year, a very devoted Catholic friend of mine invited me to a pilgrimage to walk from Portugal to Spain. And while I was walking, words would come in my mind. A word would come in my mind, and I would reflect on those words. So, like, for example, a word was peace, and I would think, well, what does peace mean? It means peace within oneself, one has to have in terms of finding peace in oneself. And then every day, because they're Catholics, they would have daily mass, and when their priest would say during communion, open your hearts. Me being Jewish, all I could relate to those words, it's like, let's open my heart. And I would relate to that letter, that word that I had reflected on that journey. And by the end of that journey, I had 9 words. And what it's so interesting is that those 9 words that I had been reflecting on started with the letter P as in Peter. And I speak Spanish, it's my first language, and those words in Spanish also started with the letter P. So they were in Spanish and in English, so I had these 9 words that I was reflecting as peace, prudence, patience, passion, 9 words. And at the end of the last day, during the last mass that they had, I was able to write a poem about it. And I mean, I didn't plan to. It was just during Mass. I was just like, I wrote it down, what it meant. And that has been like my gratitude board. And this year, at this same time, my father passed away through COVID-19. And those gratitude words have really helped me. And it's like 1 year later that I had gone through this path of having those, it eventually became 10 piece, but it has been a great, between Rabbi and the community helping me deal with my shloshim, and this piece that I have has been a great positive gratitude environment that has helped me. I just wanted to share that.
Sharing that. That was beautiful. Well, that was powerful. There is something else that we can do if anybody's ready for a little bit, one more dose of positivity. Yes, simple. This involves, it's called the loving kindness meditation. Has anyone ever heard of it or done it? There's been a ton of research about it. Zen Buddhist monks have been put on fMRIs with electrodes, and they have found that frequent meditators of this particular very, very simple meditation has changed their brain in a way that is lasting. And it's very simple, but it has to be something that's more of a practice. And what it asks you to do is to first kind of show gratitude to yourself, and I'll induce it with you. Then show gratitude and recognize someone that you love. Then do the same words to someone that you barely know, like an acquaintance. Then someone who you might have some difficulty with. And that to me is really interesting, to try to spread gratitude, show gratitude to someone that, you don't approve of. I tried doing it when I watched the news, and it has helped me a little bit, especially in this political time. But, and then after that, use those words to send gratitude out to the entire world, to all beings. So I'd like to invite you now to close your eyes, please, and settle into a comfortable position. Whatever feels good for you. If you feel good with your eyes closed, that's good. If you just want to rest your eyes, your shoulders down away from your ears and relaxed. Your hands can be gently resting on your legs, or if you feel better, touching your heart. And just take a moment to take a deep breath in and breathe in all the beauty and the privilege and the health that we've all been given. All the community, how lovely this community is. You get to share Shabbat, and I get to share Shabbat with you. So a moment to settle into your breath and to go within. And then close your eyes and say to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be kind. May I be grateful. And may I be safe. And when in this meditation you can say that over and over again to yourself, which I sometimes do when, I'm feeling a little anxious about something, and that settles me. And then when you feel that feeling that you're ready to move on, then bring to mind someone that you love and that you care about, and someone maybe in your home. And picture them and feel that like natural joy that you're getting something. You're grateful for them, but you're also wishing for them well-being. You're wishing them happiness and success. And with each breath, offer them your grateful and heartfelt wishes of may they be happy, and may they be healthy, and may they be peaceful. May they be kind. May they be grateful. And may they be safe. And if you feel ready, you can still say, no one knows what you're thinking about, but you can still say on whoever or yourself or a loved one. But the way the meditation goes after that would be to picture in your mind just an acquaintance. And I mentioned this before, that the science suggests that love really are these little micro moments of connection to the the mail deliverer, to the person that you're grateful for, just for bringing you your food, for being in the grocery store, first responders. It's somebody that you don't even know that you see across the room sometimes. And visualize them and wish them with each breath, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be peaceful, may they be kind, may they be grateful, and may they be safe. And then if you're ready, you bring that to somebody who is challenging in your life. And this could be a little tough, but it really has the ability to release some of those negative feelings and wish those people, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be peaceful, may they be kind, may they be grateful, and may they be safe. And with each breath, you offer them your grateful and heartfelt wishes. And then I'd love for you to send out to the world, to all the creatures in the world, in every walk of life, in every corner of the country and of every country, the skies and the seas, the afterworld, whatever it is that is the most expansive place that you can think of, and visualize, may they be happy, and may they be healthy, may they be peaceful, may they be kind, may they be grateful, may they be safe. After all, we are one. We are really part of one whole world, and Judaism says that best, the Shema. And then I invite you now to open up your eyes and gently come back into the room. And as we say, Namaste or Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
That's so long. Thank you.